And welcome back to the show. It is the Real Estate Zone. My name's John McClellan. The phone number is once again 836-0590. That's 836-0590. Be sure you put a 512 on the beginning of that. We were talking about the bond programs available from the state of Texas to first-time home buyers, non-first-time home buyers. If you couldn't get through a few minutes ago, try again. Give Jonathan your email address, and he'll send you a bunch of information on that. Basically free money from the state of Texas if you qualify, and even a silent second on the bond 79.
Where does the funding really come from? Does that come through, I guess, our sales taxes?
It comes from the federal. The bond program comes from the federal government.
Right. It comes from federal.
It's federal money that comes in
money.
the state of Texas. That's why there used to be a recapture. They waived that aspect of it. But yeah, it's federal money coming in to the state of Texas, and there's a lot left, and it's so underutilized right now that I get calls from the TDHCA and from these other guys saying, listen, really try to put this out there. Try to put this out there just a little bit more.
It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there. The rates are slightly higher than they are if you have your own down payment. So if you have your own 3%, 3.5%, I would recommend not doing this program. However, if you don't have your down payment,
it's cheaper than rent.
It's cheaper than rent, and you have equity in the property, and that's the great thing is having ownership, especially in a market like this.
Yeah.
I know it's frustrating to go out and buy a house right now, but I got to tell you, the end result is that you're a homeowner, and you've locked in that mortgage payment when it comes to the principal and interest portion of it. You've locked that in. When we're seeing escalating prices here in the Austin area, escalating rents here in the Austin area, I don't foresee a slowdown at least for 18 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's extremely conservative, by the way. There's people out there predicting even longer term. So I think anytime you can get into a house right now, especially if the rents are going to be equal or less, if the mortgage payment is equal or less to the rental in that same area, it's a no-brainer. It really is.
Yeah, and the relief, right? So 18 months from now, what the relief looks like to supply is more of this infill stuff, mega subdivisions that are out at the rim of expansion, all into Leander and down into Kyle and Buda, and then infill. So inside city of Austin, it's going to be infill to the east side between I-35 and the Loop 130, where you'll see that crescent of land where we'll see some big subdivisions start to deliver product. Central Austin, there's not going to be new supply brought on, right? Central and west, there's supply curtailment. We were talking about these tracts of land that they're in conservancy, they're in environmentally sensitive areas, and so the shift continues to look like more and more of that X fixed price going towards basic shelter and not so much towards luxury.
You know what I'd love to do a show about? We don't have a lot of time left today, but here in the next couple of weeks, I'd love to do a show about how cities like Austin, what is it, Austin, number 11th biggest city in the United States now, how they grow organically.
Right.
A lot of them grow, like as you've talked about in the past, like a wagon wheel because of all the surrounding geography, right? And some of the more unique cities throughout the United States, especially when it comes to investing in real estate, grow a little bit differently because of some geographic restrictions.
That's right.
Austin is one of those cities, right, that grows a little bit different than other cities in Texas and other cities in the United States, and actually gives you a little bit of leg up when you're looking to invest in real estate here.
Absolutely.
And that's why you see that Austin kind of grows north and south a little faster than it does east or west, for sure.
Stretched out, yes.
A little bit stretched out, much like we have some geographic boundaries that we have to deal with. So, closing thoughts, Kevin, going into the week.
Well, big week, right? So, as I mentioned to start the show off, we're in the time period now where new comparables are being marked sold. These have been under contract for 30 to 45 days at new higher price points. We've been going through the appraisal struggles. They're now closing. As these close, there's going to be a new level set. Watch for new changes on pricing this week.
All right, guys, for interest rates, a couple of numbers coming out. The FOMC announcement comes out next Wednesday. Also, initial jobless claims, some other inflationary numbers, and there's a few auctions next week that could actually move rates. You're listening to The Real Estate Zone. We'll see you next week.